Welcome to the April edition of 71 Magazine. I'm your host, John Bryant, and joining me in the studio this month is Rick Miller, who is the United States Postal Service letter carrier here in Owensboro. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about the upcoming USPS annual food drive. Now, is this something that just happens here in Owensboro?
No, this is the Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive, and it's nationwide. It is the largest one-day food drive in the country.
Okay, so on this one day,
May 9th.
okay, you have every postal organization or out there throughout all the states who are collecting food.
Right, to one extent or another. Some of us participate more than others. Some of the smaller post offices aren't as involved, but Owensboro has a long tradition of participation.
Okay, now how long have you been in charge of this? Because you and I have talked several times.
This is my 4th year.
Is it? Okay. Now, is this something that you sort of just kind of re-up to do, or do they rotate people in and out of your position to do this?
Well, it's something that's, Bryant Bell did this for a long time. He did an excellent job, and he had so many things stored in his mind, it was hard to pass this along. So since I've been here, I've been trying to simplify it a little bit so that it's easier to pass on to the next person.
Oh, okay.
And thankfully, Bryant is still involved too.
Well, I'm sure this is something that is not only just obviously rewarding for what you can do, but it has to be personally rewarding for you.
It is indeed. Since during the last 3 years, we've collected 94,000 pounds.
Wow, wow. Now, how much food, let's talk about last year. How much food did you collect last year? And do you set a goal for the next year, or how's that work?
We collected 31,000 pounds last year, and we're averaging about that, you know, in 30 to 32 in that range. Okay. And we're trying to raise that, but you know, the folks of Owensboro have been given generously, and you know, you get to a kind of a plateau. Right. And it's hard to beat that, but you know, I think if we ask the people of Owensboro, they can give us one more can than they did last year, and we'll break a record. Right.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I don't think 31,000 pounds of food is anything to sneeze at. I mean, that's quite a bit of actually food being collected. So how can people participate, and what do they need to do?
Well, it's pretty easy. You just get some canned food and put it in a plastic bag, hang it on your mailbox.
Okay.
And the letter carrier will pick it up and take it with him. Or we also have volunteers that help the letter carriers out. So if you see somebody in civilian clothes picking up the food, they're legit. Yeah, it's not somebody just running by stealing food or something. Exactly.
Well, let's talk specifically about the types of foods that you collect for this drive.
Well, we're looking for non-perishable, and that would be canned goods and dry goods, just nothing in glass containers or outdated food. We can't use that either.
Right, right. So if somebody wanted to give like a box of spaghetti noodles.
Perfect.
So that's good. So
put that in the bag.
So
hang it on the mailbox.
So as long as something isn't going to become old very quickly or whatever the case is, and obviously nothing fresh, because obviously it's got to go through the process.
Yes.
So so after the letter carriers collect all this food, first of all, where's this food stored after that day?
Well, it's a big process, and it's all the letter carriers can do to gather the food from all over the city and county. And we take it to the Salvation Army on Ewing Road, and there we have volunteers from 7 nonprofit organizations, and they help us divide it up, weigh it, and then distribute it that day. So it's a huge undertaking to get all that food collected and then dispensed in one day.
Oh, okay. Oh, so we're going to get to that here in a minute. How is it distributed? I mean, you know, how do they go about distributing this?
Well, you know, we're fortunate to be working with these nonprofits. We feel like as letter carriers, we're plugged into the community pretty well, and we've worked with these nonprofits over the years, and they help us to get the food to where it's needed the most. Okay. And these organizations provide volunteers, so they have sweat equity invested in this. It's not like we just gather food and hand it over to someone. They earn their way.
Oh, okay. Well, let's give a plug to those who, the 7 organizations. Do you have a list of them there?
Absolutely.
You can tell me?
Yes, there's Crossroads, King's Table, Journey Fellowship, Central Latino, Eaton Memorial Baptist Church, Oasis, and the Salvation Army. And the United Way of the Ohio Valley does not receive any food, but they are a key player and they really help us out in many ways.
Okay, great. Okay, let's say somebody has, I'm going to throw you a curveball here. What happens if I got a post office box and I don't have a, maybe I don't have a mailbox, or what happens if I live someplace like in a communal living like the Roosevelt House? How is that handled?
Okay, say the Roosevelt House or an apartment building, you can leave your canned goods wherever you pick up your mail, like at the mail room.
Okay.
If you have a post office box, you're free to drive by the Salvation Army. You don't even have to get out. You can drive up and hand us a bag of canned goods, and you won't even have to get out of your car.
Wow. Well, this really sounds like a tremendous opportunity to help people locally here. I think you said this is the #1 largest food drive, not just here locally, but in the United States on this day. Okay, again, give everybody the date of this food drive.
This is Saturday, May 9th, and that's the same day as the Barbecue Festival.
Okay.
So if you're getting ready to go to the Barbecue Fest, just put some canned goods out before you go.
Okay, great. If folks have any additional questions or information they'd like to get, how can they find anything out?
They can give me a call at 270-302-8548.
Rick, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And thanks to the United States Postal Service for what you guys do here locally. It's very much appreciated.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Thanks for joining us for this segment. Stay tuned. We're going to be up next for the 2015 Relay for Life. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.